Howdy ho, neighbor.
Okay, so for the ceiling of the van, we decided to reuse some old fence panels that have blown off of our fence. So instead of just throwing these away and then buying some paneling for the van, we just decided to reduce some waste and reuse these. And so basically what we're going to do today is we're going to cut off, we're going to remove all of the fence panels and see which ones are usable. And then we're going to sand them off and get them ready to be mounted on the ceiling.
Okay, so we have kind of already determined that the bottom part of these fence panels, where they were actually in the dirt, kind of over right off. We don't want to try to clean it. It's probably like, it doesn't feel like it's rotted, honestly. The fence isn't that old. It just blew over. At any rate, these are just super dirty, and so we are going to cut this off basically from here over. So you are keeping up to date. You are familiar with the skill saw at this point. You're going to be getting way more familiar with it throughout the build. Okay. Anyway. Since we're not actually just installing the panel up on the roof and we're having to like take these apart and refinish them and everything, we have to take them off the back, the rail. So anyway, just a pry bar and good old elbow grease. I already took one of them off. Some of them are difficult to take off. Some of them aren't too bad. Looks like the first one's gonna give me problems right off the bat. Okay, so basically we are doing that all the way down. We're trying to salvage as many of the boards as we can, but we know that there's, some of them aren't going to be salvaging. But even if we crack it here, we can still use a section like that. So that's kind of what we're doing at this point, and now it's just about disassembling a fence panel.
Okay, so today we're going to be installing the ceiling, or starting on the ceiling. We're using old fence panels to do this. I think we showed you that in another video. So what we're going to be doing is we're just going to kind of start from the center of the ceiling and work our way all the way down and then out from there. So we're kind of going to stagger it like you would a hardwood floor, and do longer pieces and then shorter pieces, stagger them, and then do the long pieces all the way down until we get to the end, and then we'll stagger them again. So it'll all be staggered. So that said, we're going to start with marking a center line here along the roof, and then put up our first piece right here in the middle, and then we've got to cut out a hole for the fans on both ends. So let's go do that. So when we popped our line down the center of the ceiling, we realized that we need it to be on either side so that we can see when we line up the boards the actual edge of the center line. So we've taken how wide the board is, which is, what do we say, 4 1/4? Mm-hmm. So we've taken 2 1/8 inch on either side of the exact center line, and we're going to pop a line all the way down the ceiling so that we can actually, so that when we put this board up, we can actually line up the edges of it against that, so it'll be straight all the way down.
So as we were putting up all the ceiling panels, as I kind of mentioned, we started in the middle, and the reason we did that rather than starting on one of the sides is we wanted the center, which is going to be kind of the walkway, basically. We wanted the center to appear to be square. Since we know that the sides of the van aren't necessarily exactly square in width, we wanted an area to appear square. So that was going to be kind of our goal for that and how we approached it. It turned out pretty good. We wanted to have kind of a weathered effect, so some of the panels are a little wider than others, and there's some gaps, and some of the boards are a little warped and stuff. Which that's what we were going for. We wanted it to have kind of a weathered look, and we were pretty happy with how it turned out. We attached the boards to the furring strips with black lath screws. We weren't able to find those at Lowe's or Home Depot or any of the local hardware stores, and so we had to end up getting those off of Amazon, and that was a pretty good resource for those. We're going to have basically some cabinetry going down both sides of the corners, so the boards actually ended up fitting within probably an inch on each side, and we didn't really have to trim too many of them to length, so that was definitely a good thing. And yeah, so overall, pretty happy with how it turned out. We've got lots of compliments already on it, so that's always a positive thing. And yeah, so there you go. You get a little bit of a sneak preview of where the lighting is going to go. At any rate, be sure to subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next video.